right, what y'all got?
What are you looking forward to about Saturday, and what kind of a format are you planning?
The goal is to play a game. There's two teams. We'll probably, Mitch, have to put the offensive line in like gray like we did last year so they can rotate through. It'll come down to depth, receivers, if we have enough guys at receiver. A lot of guys, have been limited, like Malachi and them. They can't get hit. They practice for us. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to have two teams. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for a high standard of football. Like it can't be like last year where, you play well for a while and then you start fumbling the ball around. I don't care if you're a 2 or 3, whoever. Like the standard better be high. So if it's ugly, then we didn't accomplish what we wanted to accomplish this spring, right? So I'm expecting us to play really good football, and I look at this. A lot of people look at this like it's like a throwaway, like it's a celebration. I don't. I look at this like it's football, and I expect us to play good football and watch the guys compete.
Do you want me to do like live special team stuff too?
We probably won't do live special team. Like last year, we did the XFL kick, but just that's where the injuries usually happen. So we'll still kick off. I watched Georgia's spring game and they ran down and thudded it. So I'll probably do that. I steal stuff from everybody. So we'll punt and catch it. So we'll do the special teams, but they won't be live. Everything else will be live. Quarterbacks won't be live.
You go a little bit against the grain with this wanting to play football. Why does that continue to be your approach?
Wanting to play football?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of spring games.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know. Like between opt-outs and all that, I don't know when playing football became like when it became bad. I mean. Most of our guys want to play. Even the guys I hold out, they're usually like, "Can I play?" So we were doing situational football today, and Tommy Hill practice is over, and he's like, "Ones have to go again." And so I said, "Okay, great." So, I mean, I was in the NFL. On Wednesdays there, we do like good on good to start practice, and Brian Burns, who's about one of the best pros, most competitive guys I've ever been around. He's coming up on a contract year, and he's like, "Coach, let's go ones on ones again." So I just think it's playing football. I mean, and we're 5-7. I've said that from day one. When we're someday 12-0 and hey, we gotta. We're 5-7. We gotta earn everything we get. So, I've never not done this. So I can't imagine. And I think for a lot of our young players, what an unbelievable opportunity to play. They haven't played in Memorial Stadium, so what an opportunity for them to go out there and play in front of their family and friends and show what they can do. So I'm excited.
How's this team done throughout the spring at not having dips, having a standard and keeping it throughout the spring?
Yeah, I didn't love Tuesday's practice. I didn't love it. I wasn't super happy about it. But I think that's the only time I felt that way. I thought, as I said, the defense did not have a good day on Saturday. So I expect Tony to come out raring on this Saturday. So, yeah, but I think our guys truly understand now what hard work is. They understand practice, and the more good players you have, when you have a lot of good players, the standard stays high. Because if I'm not doing a good job, the next guy goes in, he does a better job than me, then I lose my spot. So, competition is king. So,
You hold out the standard veteran players that you've talked about having held out of the scrimmages earlier this spring.
Yeah, they might get some plays here and there, but for the most part, I plan on kind of hold them out. To me, this year, for me, Mitch, this isn't even like I can't change the name because the marketing department would kill me. But for me, this isn't like the red and white game for me. This is like the red and white shootout for me. I want to see us. I know we'll be able to run the ball. I want to see if we can throw the ball. I want to see if we can catch the ball. I want to see if we can, exercise, engage in 2 minute. I'll probably be a lot of no huddle 2 minute type. Even though we'll play the normal game, I'll just say, hey, kind of like in an NFL preseason, sometimes you're like, hey, it's the last series for the ones that's treated like 2 minutes, so they get ready for end of game stuff. I'll probably do a lot of that. I want to see if we can throw, catch, rush the passer. So some of those guys will be limited in what they do, but I would anticipate them all playing at least a play.
How do you expect freshman quarterbacks to handle that sort of red and white shootout?
I don't know. That's what I'm excited about. To me, great players do what they do. They don't do new stuff. And so, the analogy I just gave our players in here is like a lot of them play Madden. If you call engage 8 on defense in Madden, and it doesn't, engage 8. All right, I said that I don't play it. And I was like, they still have engage 8, and they're like, yeah. If you call engage 8 and then 8 guys don't blitz, you think your game's broke. Well, when you're calling plays and you're calling an out cut by 1 and a shallow cross by 2, and they don't do that, you're like, how do you call the plays, right? So my challenge to the guys is just, hey, do what you've been doing all spring, and that's really true for the quarterbacks, right? I think with the headsets and the operation and all that stuff, being in 2 minute for us will really help, so that we can, I don't want to get to the first game, and if a freshman's starting, we have a 66% chance of a freshman starting. It's what I've said to the coaches all spring. So I don't want to get there and all of a sudden it's the first time. And then if Heinrich's starting, it's his first time using the headset. So I really want this operation to flow, especially at the end of games. So I'm hoping it's loud so that the guys get used to, hey, we're on the road. We're at Purdue. We have to go win the game. At the end of the game in 2 minutes, what's it going to sound and feel like? So those are the things I'm really looking for from a football standpoint. If it doesn't look the way we play, so be it.
With so many people coming to see Dylan specifically, do you have to remind Husker fans, don't put too much stock into this one practice?
Yeah, I can't even answer that. Like, not disrespectful to you. Like, I'd hope, was the lad from Gene Hackman and Hoosiers, where they're all chanting for Jimmy, and he's like, I hope you'd cheer for, I hope everyone, and the Husker fans I meet, I'm sure they're excited to see Dylan play, but most of them, they come to the warm-ups here because they want to see all the players. So we don't love any one player more than anyone else. So I hope Husker fans have a pretty high standard. I'm sure that if I was a Husker fan, I'd just be coming hoping that the ball's not on the ground. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's play real football. So, but you want to be the starting quarterback at Nebraska? You better be ready to deal with the heat. You know what I'm saying? So, Heinrich learned that last year. A lot of guys have learned that it's hard. After games, you guys don't talk to Gifford after every game, do you? You don't talk to Nash after every game. You talk to me and the quarterback. And so the two people with the most pressure are me and the quarterback. And so they better, if a freshman's starting, they better learn it now.
Matt, how will you decide the 2 different teams for Saturday?
We'll always try to make it like one team will be like the one offense versus the one defense. Like, this won't be like the NSL or anything. This will be the one offense versus the one defense. Quarterbacks will rotate through. All the quarterbacks will get a chance with the ones and the twos and the threes. We'll probably just put the one offense and the one defense, the ones with the threes, so the ones can play a certain portion and the threes can come in and play for them afterwards, and then the twos can play pretty much the whole game. But we're so thin at wide out, some guys have to flip. But it'll be like the one offense versus the one defense, just on different teams. Two offense versus the two defense. If I could have my druther, I could have my druthers, but I like when you play the offense versus the defense. But those scoring systems are always so weird. I can't even follow it. Like, I did it one year and was like, what's happening? So I like to know who's winning. So.
I know this is kind of like another scrimmage for you guys as a team, but it's going to be in front of a really big crowd at Memorial Stadium. Does that raise the stakes for you at all when you're evaluating, who played well and who didn't play well?
Yeah, so maybe I'm not doing a good job saying it. That's what I mean. Like, I want to know who's going to go out there, and like I've said to our team, the Tuesday, Wednesday Huskers last year were better than the Saturday Huskers. The Saturday Huskers last year, like, doubt, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of what are they going to say about me, like all of that stuff affects performance for young people. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, you get beat. The next play, you're like, all right, whatever, and you play the next play. You get beat on Saturdays, all of a sudden you go to the sidelines. How we handled that wasn't elite. And so that's my job, and that's our staff's job. That's also our players' job. So I'm very much excited to see us play in front of a crowd. And I'm very much excited to see us operate in front of a crowd and see how we do. See where are we in that. So just like there's a continuum in terms of like how we're blocking, how we're tackling, how we're carrying the ball, there's also a continuum in terms of, are we improving at how we handle stress and how we handle pressure. So I'm very excited to play in front of crowds. We played in front of last Saturday probably 500 people, 150 people. This will be way different. And it'll be good for our guys.
Omar Brown appears to have the best chance of being drafted this weekend of all the former Huskers. What did he do in the last year and a half to put himself in position to do that?
Well, he completely changed his approach to everything. If you go back and even this year, early in the year, I think he didn't start after, he started the first game. I don't know if he started the second or third game. I think Coop sat him down. I love Omar Brown because as a player, because he's really talented. He's got corner skills and a safety's body. I think he'll be excellent on special teams. I hope he gets drafted. I hope Quentin gets drafted. But I think we have 5 or 6 guys that it would behoove teams to bring in. And, just like I've always been proud of when we've had a first or second round draft pick, and we'll have lots of first and second round draft picks here over the years. I really love, I have teams calling me about Phelan Sanford, I can't wait for, this is a guy who wasn't on scholarship when I got here. Then I put him on scholarship for the spring and said, I can't put you on scholarship for the fall. He's in training camp trying to figure out what job he's going to get for the fall to pay to go to school. We're able one day to give him a scholarship. Jamie Vaughn did an amazing job for us. Hey, got the rule change, got a waiver where we could get him a scholarship. Gave him a scholarship. He played when he was going to play. You talk about a day of NIL and everyone's getting paid. He was going to pay to go to school. And now I've got NFL teams calling me saying, hey, can you help us with him in case he doesn't get, probably won't get drafted, but will be a free agent. Can you get him in the roster? So, but Omar's really smart. He's athletic. He's got a good feel for the game. And he has, in the last year, learned that your approach off the field affects your production on the field. And that's a really good thing for him. And he did a great job down at, when I went down to the bowl game. A lot of guys had a lot of good things to say about his practice work ethic. And the best thing was he came up to me and said, Coach Rhule, you were right. And, all these scouts asked me if I graduated. And, I'm glad I did. So he fought to graduate on time, and he did. So I'm proud of him.
What's your elevator pitch to teams in terms of the quality of players that they get that come from your program?
Well, I think the best thing that can happen is I think when people in the NFL, they're never going to ask me about their players' talent. They make those decisions for themselves, right? What they want to know is the football character. Is this guy going to take notes? Is he going to learn? How does he learn? What's his football character like? Meaning, will he work? Will he practice? One of the major stats for a guy if he's going to be successful in the NFL is how often he practiced in college. So I learned that talking to guys over the years. So I think when people come and watch us practice, they know that we're going to be physical. They know that we're going to practice. But it's not about me. It's about our guys. Like when Quentin Newsome goes to a team and he shows up to practice every day, he takes care of himself, he's professional in the building, then people will say, let's go get more Nebraska guys. So just like us, I love recruiting players from programs that I know that they've been prepared well, so that I know when they get here, it's not a big transition. The same thing for the NFL. So all those guys are pros, and I think they'll do a nice job for whatever team gets them.
Did you learn anything last year about the importance for this week in recruiting and how you can use this showcase to kind of spring forward into May and June to build your class?
That's a great question. We put an official visit this year for the spring game as opposed to last year where we didn't. Last year we had visitors and all that. We've had a ton of people come through in the spring, but for the guys that are far away, we're using this as our official visit, which can be a little dangerous because it's not closer to June. But to me, what an unbelievable time to be in Lincoln. It should be good weather, I hope. If it rains, it rains. But, it's going to be good weather. It's going to be a great crowd, great stadium. Hopefully we play really well. Baseball game, softball game, lots of action. So we decided to use this as an official visit specifically for guys kind of from fly-in states. And then the local guys that we have, they can drive over. So it's almost like some of those local guys get 2 official visits because they can come over for the game and see the guys on the visits and then come back for their official visit. So we were very strategic kind of in making that change.
Having been in the NFL and in college for so many years, what is more stressful, a signing day for you or a draft day for you, and what are the main similarities and differences?
Signing day is way more stressful because he's got the Giants thing on him. Like literally when I was a young assistant at the Giants, you sat in your office, you watched the draft. 15 minutes before your pick was up, you walked in the room. They make your decision, and you walk back to your office and you watch the rest of the draft. And then, as a head coach, you're obviously in those meetings, but you get to pick. In recruiting, you have to hope they sign, and then you're waiting for the thing to come through, and now you're hoping they stay. So it's a lot more stressful in college. And just to clear this up, because some of you guys I've heard are doubting my truthfulness. Both Heinrich and Dylan had 99-yard touchdowns drives, which is why I was confused. So.